and she promptly took her feet out of her stinky shoes and put them in his lap.
A married middle school assistant principal has been arrested for reportedly telling a 13-year-old student to, quote, rub my feet like you love me.
As he's massaging her feet, she says, you're not doing it right. And she starts massaging his arm and shoulder and says, do it like that.
According to deputies, Dr. Kiva Lark allegedly called the student sexy chocolate.
Doctor. I say again, doctor. Oh. Why these public figures who are supposed to help people end up in these situations? I have no idea.
Instead, the foot rub was supposed to teach him sexual foreplay. Now, this is a grown woman, an educator,
She had to know that
talking
was
to a child like this. I'm Kennedy Walker, and I'll walk you through the details and break down how she got caught. For this story, we go to Poinciana, Florida, about an hour away from Orlando, where a middle school assistant principal is facing disturbing allegations involving a 13-year-old student. Her name is Dr. Kiva Lark. She's married, respected, and in a position of power at Lake Marion Creek Middle School. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, a male student was sent to Lark's office for throwing balled up paper during a test. But what happened next wasn't discipline. It was alleged bad behavior that would lead to her arrest. Witnesses and the student say Lark told the teen to rub her feet since, quote, he didn't have anything better to do with his hands. Here's what the...
That's wild. That's wild. And you can tell that had he stayed quiet, I don't know if he told or not, but you can tell if had he stayed quiet, this was going to escalate. I don't understand the predatory nature of what's going on with these so-called women in power and what, you know, what they're doing. It's like they see nothing wrong with it. They're doing it blatantly. Like this, you could have not, there's no way you didn't think that this was going to come out. It's almost arrogant at this point.
The Polk County Sheriff says happens next.
She promptly took her feet out of her stinky shoes and put them in his lap. And as he's massaging her feet, she says, you're not doing it right. And she starts massaging his arm and shoulder and says, do it like that.
Then it reportedly escalated. Lark was heard saying, quote, rub my feet like you love me. According to deputies, she told the student all those things so he'd know what foreplay was when he got a girlfriend. Let that sink in. A 13-year-old child in the assistant principal's office being told to perform what authorities say was an inappropriate act.
And then my question too is, like, most of these women are married. Or excuse me, that's not a question, but the other thing I'm thinking about is most of these women are married. Most of these women have husbands. Some of them have kids. There are other adults on the planet that you can have these situations with, if you will. Why do y'all go after these young children? Like, what's the whole thing? Because I promise you, like, if she would have met somebody else, she probably could have got somebody else. I can't say. I mean, she's an older woman, but at the end of the day, there are people who like things like that. So she could have. I'm sure somebody would have found her appealing. But why do you have to do this to a child? Was it like a power dynamic thing? That's the only thing I could make out of it.
Several days later, a witness says Lark expressed regret, admitting she crossed the line. But by then, the damage had already been done. On April 5th, the school principal reported the incident to authorities. And the deeper investigators looked, the more they found. The teen told deputies Lark had also called him sexy chocolate in the hallway. When questioned, Sheriff Grady Judd said Lark called the foot rubbing a joke, claiming she was trying to humble the student. She's now facing 2 serious charges: lewd conduct and a lewd offense against a student by an authority figure. Authorities say Dr. Lark later admitted that her actions were inappropriate for her profession, but she denied saying anything inappropriate to the victim. Dr. Kiva Clark is now on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
What's also crazy is I don't know how long it takes to get a doctorate degree, but I'm thinking 8 to 12 years. I'm thinking. I don't know. I've never been to college. But either way, to earn a doctorate degree usually comes along with a level of respect that the community bestows upon you. And for you to throw all that away, throw all that schooling away, just for a tryst with a quick thrill with a young guy, man, I don't know what was going through her head, but neither here nor there.
On Prime Crime. A mother's cry for help over her missing toddler is riddled with unanswered questions.
Check on mechanics. Scott is there.
All right, so before we get into this, I know it just started, but for the life of me, I can't understand how people have children and they're not responsible for where the children are kept or where the children are left. They don't seem to understand, like, at the young age that these children are, there's no way you can just leave a child wherever. I don't care how long you've been gone.
Zane's there. Quinton's not there.
I can't stay there. Somebody else will understand that.
It smells like vomit.
But as investigators peel back the layers of her story,
Has Danny ever been violent with the kids at all? No.
No, never even violent towards me.
the truth begins to unravel.
It's not just any missing child. We're talking about a baby. How could this even be real? This is stuff you only see on TV.
The baby was in the bedroom of the house. Calm down. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. But you have to be honest. I'm being honest.
It seems like there's a lot of people who
Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Weber and welcome to Prime Crime,
children.
where we break down some of the most compelling and memorable true crime cases from across the country. When a young toddler vanishes from his home, it sparks a desperate search that captures national attention. And as investigators untangle what happened to little Quinton Simon, suspicion turns closer to home.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I need to come 535 Low Culture Road. We believe it's going to be kidnapped.
Yeah, someone been kidnapped? Get my son, get my 11-year-old son. This place is empty, please.
Just after 9 in the morning, October 5th, 2022, 28-year-old Daniel Youngkin and his 22-year-old girlfriend Leilani Simon call 911 to report her 20-month-old son Quinton Simon has disappeared.
You know what I find strange about that? You know, she said she can't find her son. The baby is, what, 1.5, it seems? A little bit more. And even if you want to say, okay, somebody, God forbid, could have kidnapped the child or something like that, why are you leaving the door open while you go do whatever it is that you're doing? Why are you leaving the child in the house while you go do whatever else you're doing? That just doesn't make sense to me. And then to know that there are 2 adults there, that really doesn't make sense to me.
And he's possibly been kidnapped.
There's a call about a missing child here in Chatham County, but it's not just any missing child. We're talking about a baby, something that's very shocking to the community. The mother calling that her child had probably been abducted from their home.
She explained to them that he was wearing his Sesame Street blue shirt and black pants, and that he had a Mickey Mouse toy with him.
We have a signal 56 complaining about Her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open, and he's unable to open the door. I think someone came in and took him.
All right, so nobody locks the door when they sleep? I mean, even if you're awake in some areas, people keep the door locked. I know I keep my door locked. Like at all times, every time I come in and out the house, because you really don't know what it is that people are plotting and what they could be capable of if given the opportunity. I mean, I thought that was like common knowledge, but apparently not.
This prompts a large police response. Police are at the house within 2 minutes, and we're talking several police forces.
Did y'all go anywhere last night or yesterday with baby? That maybe he could have followed you or something? Y'all didn't go anywhere? You made you yourself. Yeah, I could have gone. Temple yesterday, so I went to go support you.
Detectives' first step is to talk one-on-one with Quinton's mom, Leilani. She volunteers to go to the station to walk them through a timeline of the previous night.
We can't imagine the emotion that you're feeling right now. But as difficult as it is, what you kind of think back in the last 24 hours, except from about 1 o'clock.
He went to go get Orgel at 2 a.m.
And I left because they wanted to.
And they ain't bring the baby?
So I just went there and I had them keep the kids. So I called babysitter and asked to hold them a little bit longer. All the kids, she had all 3 of them.
October 4th of 2022, which is the day before, they obviously asked her about how that day went, what was going on in her life. And she told police that it was a relatively normal day. She went to work. The children were with a babysitter. She had a dentist appointment that she went to, and she came home.
I went home, took a nap. We went and picked them up and gave them all a bath. And I put them down to bed, and my mouth was really bothering me about almost 1 in the morning. So I called Circle K to see if they had Orgel. No. So I got in contact with another one of my friends named Misty, and asked her if she had any Orgel. I met her up there at the Chevron. I went back home, y'all, so in 12 minutes. I got it for my like 360. I can show y'all right around. Got home, checked on all the kids again. They were all good.
So while she was out, who'd she leave the kids with?
Had gotten a fight that night, and she was in pain after going to the dentist. Leilani told police she was going to go meet her friend Misty to go get Orgel. She wakes up the next morning, and Quinton is gone.
All right, that's hard to believe. Because that means that when you came back from getting the Orgel, you didn't look in the crib. You didn't say to yourself, you ain't think to yourself, the baby's not crying. Especially some kids are night owls. Some kids be up all night. And if you know that about parenting, then you would check on the kid before you go to sleep. I don't think any adult wouldn't check on the kid before they go to sleep.
I think I about 9, almost 9. The front door was partially open. The door was never open. And I get up and I go shut it. Not even thinking nothing about it. I just got out of bed. The door's open. Let me shut the door. And I turn around and check on the kids. Sky's there. Zane's there. Quinton's not there. So I searched the house, under the bed, behind the couches, and the closets, and the cabinets, outside.
And that's also kind of strange because so somebody wanted to kidnap the baby and not the other 2 kids? I mean, that's a real picky kidnapper, I guess.
This is a home where there's multiple points of entry. There's a garage, there's an outdoor pool, there's a front door, there's a den with an entry.
Has he ever gotten out of the playpen before?
Like they was living good.
He cannot get up on his own. The boy can't even get his foot up there if he tried.
And who all lives in the house that's your mother's? Who lives there?
Paul.
Paul? Who is Paul?
This is my little brother.
That's your brother.
And then Daniel and me.
And Daniel is
my fiance. And then my stepdad and my mom.
Tell me about Paul. What does Paul do?
I just got a job with me at the warehouse. He's honestly studying to take his ass back. And she goes in the military.
Leilani has 3 children. She's living with her boyfriend, Danny Youngkin. They were all living in Leilani's mother's home. with Leilani's mother, Billy Joe, and stepfather. And also Leilani's brother, Paul.
Paul, Danny, and Leilani were all working at a warehouse place, and Billy Joe and her husband worked over the road, so they would be gone for weeks at a time.
Paul was at the house when Quinton was missing?
Yeah. Where was he? My brother was upstairs in his room.
No indication that he left. You didn't hear the door open. Nothing.
That's crazy.
The door opening, the truck didn't even move.
Let's talk about Danny. So how long have you and Danny been dating? Or have you been engaged?
We've been together for almost 2 years, engaged for the past year.
Has Danny ever been violent with the kids at all? No.
Never even violent towards me.
Meanwhile, back at the house, detectives are searching for clues.
And then it's like, okay, you got the boyfriend. Say you were the boyfriend, but like, where's the child's father? Like, what's the whole thing about bringing people who are not part of the original family into the family? Like, you don't know what another person's intentions are, man.
I can't stand it. Somebody else will understand that.
It smells like vomit.
When police were searching the house, in terms of finding anything suspicious, there wasn't really a lot there. According to police, there was no signs of forced entry, no signs of a struggle, essentially. But in the house, there were stained beds, his stained pack and play.
Around that area, it's kind of a weird mix of neighborhoods and rural and
yeah, they're going to do a whole
woods and
full investigation
highways.
on this.
I mean, it's just a very diverse.
Danny's phone didn't move doesn't mean that Danny himself didn't leave the home. And so the way that Danny and also Leilani's brother, Paul, were ruled out was through the phones. And it's also how Leilani was ruled in. The investigators tracked her to certain locations. Danny's phone wasn't moving that night, whereas Leilani's did.
I would like to say that they thoroughly investigated all leads, but they'd already decided basically the angle they were going to take with the investigation. From that day forward, kind of focused on Miss Simon.
Detectives and Leilani part ways, and in the following days, the investigation fades into uncertainty. Without any new leads, detectives find themselves at a standstill. However, investigators aren't giving up, and in turn, several crucial pieces of evidence emerge, which begin pulling this puzzle together.
They start to connect some dots that raise the red flags even higher. People telling the police things like Leilani never wanted Quinton, and I think at that point they turned their suspicions
there goes the information
against
they need to know. You could tell she lying. She lying.
Suspicions mount in the disappearance of 20-month-old Quinton Simon as detectives begin to piece together inconsistencies in the statements from his mother, Leilani Simon, casting doubt on if she's telling the whole truth.
But
the FBI...
if you don't want the baby, bro, why you ain't give that child up for adoption? Why you ain't get a child up for adoption instead of doing something crazy like this? If y'all haven't read the caption up top, it says the baby was found in a landfill. So I don't know if she offed the baby and then put him in the landfill or what, but that's crazy.
Asked Leilani to come in for another round of questioning. Only this time, the gloves have come off.
I know you know what happened. And I know you know where Quinton is. I don't know where he is. The story that you already told, law enforcement, we've already analyzed data. Your 360, right? Your cell phone data, right? Where you've been, right? And there's inconsistencies who you talked to. We know you didn't go to the Chevron station. Yeah, that was on your last 360. It shows where I fully around. No, you didn't. But we know where you went.
Investigators look at Leilani's cell phone records, meticulously mapping everywhere she had been the night of October 4th, and there are major discrepancies.
I mean, seriously, it's right next to it. Stop. You've gone off this story for a while now, and I know it's not true. It is. We're not going to make any progress
That's crazy to think, man.
You have to be honest. I'm being honest.
But then, the agent confronts Leilani with a game-changing discovery.
We know through video surveillance you were not at that Chevron. But we do know where you were at. That police didn't tell you. I stopped her again. It was good work. We're going to pull it around. And I told them that it was right next
Because she acting, bro.
There's surveillance video that captures Leilani not where she said she was. There is a cell phone tracking on her phone that shows that she wasn't exactly where she said she was. And now all of a sudden Leilani's story is changing.
When you were in the trailer park, you pulled right back out.
Now, let me skip forward past this.
So why does video surveillance show you stopping? Stopping to get the orange out in the trailer park. Getting the orange out. You're not near the Chevron. No, she lives near the Chevron.
So now, instead of being at the Chevron station, she was near the Chevron station, according to her.
Law enforcement began.
He felt like she had kind of this immeasurable obsession with Danny and his love for her, or lack thereof, and the need for her to feel like she was with him and that he was with her in return.
Danny was just acting in the role of the police and was trying to get her to make some sort of incriminating statement, and it didn't work. And the interesting part about that was the day after the hotel room, Danny left Savannah and never returned. He didn't get what he wanted, and then he was gone.
Detectives initially hoped that by now, Quinton would be found safe and unharmed.
I don't know what my eyes are.
The evidence suggests that may not be possible.
Chatham County Police Department and FBI entered a new phase in the search for Quinton Simon. A short time ago, we began what will be an extensive search of the waste management landfill located here in Chatham County.
While police are interviewing Leilani, unbeknownst to her, there's several other agencies gathering warrants, searching the house, searching for any type of evidence that could possibly lead this case away from an abduction case and turn it into a homicide investigation. Evidence debunked her alibi of meeting up with Misty and going to the Chevron, ultimately pinning her as the main suspect.
With their many questions unanswered, investigators hope they're on a path towards justice for little Quinton Simon. But a key piece of evidence is still missing: Quinton himself.
At what point did you realize the smell was so bad that you should stop at the dumpster?
It was before I even pulled out of the house.
That's crazy.
Let's see. There was nothing that happened that I can remember.
Of course, now that I can remember.
Nearly a week after Quinton's disappearance, Leilani Simon is brought in to talk again with investigators. When asked about being at the Azalea Mobile Home Park, she finally reveals why she was seen at the dumpsters. But is it the truth?
So you went to Missy's house, and did you go inside her house?
I can't do any more of this video, y'all. Alright, y'all, if y'all made it to the end of the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified the next time that I stream or upload. Also, join the Discord, link is in the bio. Also, the links to the original videos will be in the bio. And I want to thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching my content. Also, if you guys can, just, watch the video at least halfway through any video that I upload. I'd greatly appreciate that. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.